Hey Killer Bees, it's Pahla B from PahlaBFitness.com, and on tap today I've got a great cardio endurance workout for actual beginners. I know, because we need this. You guys, there's no jumping, no equipment, no complicated moves, no squatting, no transitions to the ground. This one is gonna be simple, but sweaty, and lots of fun. It's a thorough Thursday, which means that I've got a warm up for us as well as a cool down and lots of sweat in between. So when you're ready for it, I'm totally ready. Let's go. All right, you guys, let's get moving and grooving, and that means that we're gonna get started with some arm circles with high knees. If you have ever done my thorough Thursday workouts before, you knew that was coming. You probably already started. You know what? I bet you anything that when you pressed play on this, that you were like, I'm gonna get started with that warm up because I know what's coming. It's true, I have no surprises. Well, no, I have no warm-up surprises on Thorough Thursday, you guys. I do have some surprises today. You know, I have high hopes for this workout today. I'm very excited about doing a cardio endurance workout for actual beginners. This is something that I think is super important to do. There are so many workouts that claim to be for beginners that kind of aren't, you know, they're tough, they're too much. And I will tell you that cardio endurance is actually one of the first skills that you need to work on. And by the way, endurance actually just means that there's no rest. It means that today is steady state cardio. I know we all want to get that HIIT burn, get the most fat burned, get the most calories burned, blah, blah, blah. But if you're brand new to exercise, honestly, what you really need to do is learn how to moderate your breathing, learn how to moderate your heart rate, learn how to move your body in a way that feels good. And my friends, today is gonna feel good. Let's do some arm crossers with booty kickers as well. Don't you already feel good? Bringing your heart rate up gently, and gently, it's kind of my theme for the day. This is what I love about cardio endurance. You don't have to go at full speed. In fact, you should not go at full speed because we're going the entire time. Now, I have perfectly manageable intervals today. I've got my handy dandy Gymboss here, set for 20 seconds. It's just that none of those are rest. And so we're gonna go back and forth between walking or marching, whichever you prefer to call it, and a bunch of low impact, but not low intensity, low impact, no jumping exercises that are guaranteed to get your heart rate up, to keep your heart rate up, to help you figure out how to manage that heart rate. That's actually why we're going back and forth between the marching and the other exercises. Let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes, sweeping that arm out wide, taking in some nice deep breaths, opening up your chest, opening up your shoulders, opening up those abs, opening up those hips, really feeling that lateral stretching movement, getting all of our joints, all of our muscles very ready for a fun endurance workout. My friends, the reason I went back and forth between the marching and the other exercises is so you can moderate your heart rate. The exercises are going to bring your heart rate up. The marching and walking is meant to help keep your heart rate up without going crazy. So when in doubt, my friends, march it out. If you find your heart rate getting too high, just return to that marching exercise, and we are going to be just fine for the entire length of this wonderful workout. My friends, in fact, let's go ahead and get started with that marching. Here we go. Now, the 20-second intervals, gonna move along kind of quickly. Like I said though, we're going back and forth. So if you ever get lost or confused, just come back to marching and don't worry about it. We're getting started with high hand, high punches, or high knee, high punches, excuse me. Can't even read already. And what that is, it's a high knee with a high punch. We're keeping our hands here about our shoulder height while one high knee comes up, one hand punches up high overhead. It's a little bit of an extended, big marching movement. You are welcome at any time to take these movements up a notch if you'd like to, or take them down a notch if you'd like to. The higher your hands are, here we go back to that marching or walking, the higher your hands are, the higher your heart rate is. So when in doubt, march it out, I know. But also, when in doubt, just put your hands down a little bit. Coming up next, we're gonna do swinging side tappers, which means that our hands are actually gonna stay kind of low. Swinging from side to side, nice and low, while we're tapping our feet from side to side also. Now today, I've got some great movements for us. We're really getting into this exercise, this cardio. by moving our body in all different planes of motion. We've got side to side motions, twisting, kicking, forward and back, hands overhead, hands out to the side, back to marching every time. We're really getting a full body workout while we're doing cardio. Coming up next, we're going to do something I call big circle side kicks. I'm laughing. I'm cracking myself up today. We're making a big circle in front of our body, and when we're swooping over the top of that circle, we're kicking out to the side. So big circle with a side kick. I almost called these OKs because we're making a big O with our arm and kicking out to the letter K with our leg. But I thought that that might not translate into something that sounded like an exercise. When it beeps again, we're coming back to that marching just like we do. I crack myself up with some of these exercises today, just so you know. This next one in particular, I called it strong arm front kicks. We're going to start with our hands up overhead, and we're going to pull our hands down as though we're flexing our biceps while we're doing a front kick. So you'll really feel this one. Here we go with those strong arm front kicks. You're really going to feel this one in your shoulders and the middle of your back while we're reaching up and pulling down with those elbows. Of course, you'll feel those front kicks also, working in two different planes of motion with this particular exercise, and back to marching. Whew, doggies, there's the heart rate I was talking about. That's why we're doing this marching and walking when it beeps again. Going to do something I call reach across, which means that we're going to reach across directly in front of you. So you're moving from side to side in the same plane of motion, reaching across with your hand, kicking that same leg out back behind you. Reach across, kick it back. Reach across, kick it back. Excellent job. Moderating your heart rate by keeping your pace at a pace that you could do, honestly, all day long. We're not, we're back to marching here. We're not trying to go crazy. You're not going to do yourself any favors by doing more or harder or faster if you have to pause the video and take a break. Now, coming up next, going to do something I actually do call the letter K, because it's just the kicking outside. It's just the letter K of the OK. So hands up. We're reaching one hand down while kicking that same leg out to the side. On one side of your body, it does indeed look like the letter K. On the other side, it looks like a backwards letter K. Oh my goodness. You can ratchet this one up by getting a little bounce to it. You can take any of these exercises, including the marching that we're doing right now, up a notch or down a notch whenever you need to. My friends, coming up next, we're going to do something I call Windmill Tap Backs, which means that we're going to have our hands nice and wide, our feet nice and wide. We're going to reach down with our opposite hand towards our opposite foot. And while we're doing that, we're taking that same foot and tapping it back, almost into a bit of a curtsy. And I want you to know, as you can clearly see, I am not touching my foot at all. In fact, I'm barely getting down to my knee. It's almost never about that. It's about reaching what you can do and moving your body. Back to marching. Excellent, excellent job. When it beeps again, something I call twisting kicks. And do you know why? It's because we're going to twist while we're kicking. So your upper body, your torso, is going to twist from side to side with your hands just about shoulder height or so, while you're kicking out in front of you. So your hips are staying stable. So you're kicking in front while twisting to the side. Oh, do you feel that in your abs and obliques? Of course you do, as well as your heart and lungs. My friends, if you are moving, you are toning, and this is a perfect example of that kind of work. Right back to marching. We're doing cardio, and we always think of that as being like a calorie burn or a fat burner, good for your heart and lungs. My friends, if you're moving your body, you're moving your muscles, and if you're moving your muscles, you're toning them. Coming up next, going to do something I call double knee X's. We're going to start off in the letter X, and we're going to reach our knee to our elbow on one side 2 times, and then reach our knee to our elbow on the other side 2 times. So your hands and your feet are nice and wide until they're meeting in the middle 2 times, and then 2 times. Excellent job keeping that other hand out to the side. Really feel that work. Whew, in your shoulder and your back. Great job. Back to marching. Okay, I take a nice deep breath. Every time we come back to marching, I feel myself taking that breath while we bring the heart rate down a little, but not a lot. Coming up next, we're going to do some booty kickers again, but this time it's not a warm-up. We're doing elbow swings with them. So hands are just about shoulder height. We're swinging your arms forward and backwards while you're kicking your own booty. Nice job. This is one of those exercises you don't have to jump, but you could certainly add intensity by going faster or getting a bounce to it. Here we are back at marching. These 20-second intervals, they're moving along very quickly. You gotta love a workout like that. When it beeps again, we're doing front raise skiers, which means that we're going to have our hands starting just kind of low. We're gonna raise one hand in front of us while the opposite foot pushes back. So you're raising a hand and then kicking your foot back at the same time. Really feeling that work in your booty. Even though it's cardio, we can get a little bit of booty work in there too. Excellent job. Kicking, well, pushing back. Not even really kicking back, pushing back while raising your hand and then right back to marching. Awesome. My friends, coming up next, we're going to do rainbow jacks. That's where our hands are going to go over our head like a rainbow from side to side, while one knee kicks out to one side, and then the other knee kicks out to the other side, meaning kind of in the middle in a bit of a crunch. Excellent. One of my favorite exercises because I can always feel this pretty much everywhere. I think of this personally as an ab exercise because we're standing on one leg and crunching with the other. Feeling that work in your abs and obliques and then right back to marching. Coming up next, something I'm calling sidestep bursts. Because it looks to me like we're exploding out to one side. So we're going to stand and we're going to push one hand up high while pushing that same leg out to the side. We're going to take that step over and tap and then burst on the other side. Burst and tap, burst and tap. Nice side to side motion with that big reach up overhead. Whew, it's almost the opposite of that crunch that we just did with the rainbow jacks, but you still feel it in your abs, don't you? You don't have to crunch to get ab work done. Back to our marching, and back to a little bit more moderate heart rate. I know, hands up mean heart rate up. When it beeps again, we're doing something I'm calling upside down jacks. We're going to start with our hands up overhead. And as our hands come down, we're going to step one foot out to the side. So step and then step. Now you're not actually changing your body position in terms of like moving all the way over, but you're tapping out really wide to the side. You can feel that work in your legs and your glutes. Excellent job. Boom. Tap and back to marching, my friends. My friends, this is the last exercise in our circuit, and I will tell you that our circuit is only 2 times through. We're going to do something I call curtsy reaches, which means that we're going to take a big step back and out to the opposite side while we're reaching our hands out in both directions, forward and back. So reach and reach. Reach while we curtsy, reach while we curtsy. It's a little bit of a twist here in the middle to get your hands to reach forward and back, and that little bit of a curtsy, really feeling it on your inner and outer thighs. My friends, when it beeps again, yes, we are going back to marching. We're also going back to the top of the list, so you have seen all of the exercises. No more surprises. I love that. When it beeps again, we're doing that high knee, high punch. So the thing about round 2 is that maybe, depending on where you are, what you feel like, so high knee, high punch, you can decide what exercises you loved, what exercises were complicated or difficult, what exercises you might be able to put a little bit more into, or what exercises you need to take down a notch so that it doesn't spike your heart rate. That's what I love, back to marching, about a circuit, because after you've seen everything and kind of figured it out, you can perfect it the second time around. Now you guys, when it beeps again, doing those swinging side tappers, one of my favorite gentle cardio exercises. Very effective work. It gets your heart rate up, but we don't have to do anything too crazy. Just swinging those hands and tapping those feet. It feels gentle and fun. Love, love, love this exercise. I would actually love to know, what was your favorite exercise in this circuit today? I know I actually have a couple of favorites, but I'm always curious, back to marching, which one you like best. My friends, coming up next, we're doing those big circle side kicks, otherwise known as the OKs. But they're better than OK, right? You get your arms swinging in a big circle, your leg kicking out to the side. It feels better than OK. I think this one feels like a lot of fun. Big O and the letter K. Whee! Big circle, side kick. Big circle, side kick. Nice job. When it beeps, yes, my heart rate did come up kind of high on this one. When it beeps, going back to that walking or marching. Excellent. Whew, very, very nice job. These fast intervals means pretty quick transitions. That's why I tried to keep the exercises as simple as possible while still being fun, especially this strong arm front kick, starting with our hands overhead and making those big bicep squeezes with a front kick. Strong arms and a front kick. Nice job. Moderating your breathing, moderating your heart rate. You can take this up a notch or down and then right back to marching. How are you doing here on round 2? This one feels like fun, doesn't it? All right, you guys, when it beeps again, going to do that reach across, where you're reaching directly across while tapping that same foot out to the side, really feeling that work all through your middle. You know, here we go with the reach across. When in doubt, well, okay, when in doubt, march it out. I know, I already told you that. But also, when in doubt, make sure that you've got your core pulled in tight so that you can really feel the ab work in all of these exercises. You know, if you do it right, literally everything you do is ab work, including this marching. Pull your core in for a second. Feel how much stronger you stand up tall. Feel how different your legs feel when your belly button's pulled in real tight. You can do that and should do that anytime. When it beeps again, doing the letter K's, starting with our hands up overhead, kicking out one leg out to the side while we reach that arm down. I'm going to take this one down just a little bit in my pace. I have found my heart rate getting up, 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 as happens with endurance work. And I want to make sure I can make it all the way to the end of this workout. Very nice. Back to that marching. Awesome job, my friends. Coming up next is those windmill tap backs. So this one, we've got our hands out wide, our feet out wide. We're reaching down across our body wherever you can reach to. If you are a more advanced exerciser, you can reach all the way down to the ground. That's totally fine with me. You know, you can always do the harder version of these exercises. You don't have to do them exactly like me. You should always be doing whatever works for you, whatever feels best for you. When it beeps again, we're going to go right back to that marching. Excellent job. I'm noticing on these exercises where one hand stays up, I'm really feeling it in round 2. You're welcome to bend your hands or bend your elbows and bring your hands down a little bit. Keeps your heart rate up, but also keeps it moderated. When it beeps again, we're doing those twisting kicks. So kicking forward while twisting your torso side to side while your hips stay facing forward. Really thinking about twisting through your spine, using your abs like we talked about, and keeping your elbows at just about shoulder height really gets you some nice shoulder work too. Excellent. When it beeps, here we are back at marching. You guys, you are doing such a good job. Here in round 2, we're getting low on my list. I like how that happens. Coming up next, we're doing those double knee X's, which means that we're starting off in that big letter X, kind of like a windmill, but we're bringing our elbow to our knee, 2 times on one side, 2 times on the other. Kind of like with those windmills. You'll notice that having that hand up the whole time really starts to feel like work. No matter how long or short the interval is, there's always work to be done. And here we are back at marching. Great job. When it beeps again, doing those booty kicker elbow swings. Another one of probably my favorite exercises. You know, I've never tried to make a list of favorites. I have so many that I think it would be quite silly to have like a favorite exercise. So here we go with those booty kicker elbow swings. Elbows swinging back and forth. Legs kicking back behind you, kicking your own behind. Very nice job. You know, we move forward so much that a booty kicker motion like this, you really feel that stretch in your quads, the fronts of your thighs, and back to marching. Coming up next, we're going to do those front raise skiers. So we're pushing one foot back. And while you're pushing it back, I want you thinking about pulling your core in, of course, but really squeezing with that side of your glutes and really feeling the work not just as cardio, but as a little bit of bonus butt work. My friends, there's always bonus work to be done, no matter whether you're doing strength or cardio or something in between. There's always a high heart rate to be had. There's always toning to be had. When it beeps again, here we are back at marching. Excellent job. When it beeps again, I know I keep saying that because it keeps beeping again. When it beeps again, we're going to do those rainbow jacks, swinging our hands up overhead like a rainbow, pulling up one knee out to one side and then the other knee out to the other. Really focused, on balance at this point. Even more so than thinking about your abs, I want you to think about just keeping your balance and not tipping over. This got tough with a high heart rate, as balance work does. The higher your heart rate, the harder all your movements are. Back to marching. So thinking about having your core pulled in tight can help keep you on your feet without wobbling around too much. I do plenty of wobbling too. There was no judgment in that statement. You guys, when it beeps again, we're doing those sidestep bursts. I'm kind of moving a little bit to the side here so I can really explode out to the side. Big step and tap, big step and tap. Really feeling, oh my goodness, that big stretch that still feels like work, especially down there in your inner thighs as we take that big step out to the side. When it beeps again, back to our marching motion. Excellent job. Oh, my friends, you are rocking this workout. Coming up next, those upside down jacks, starting with our hands overhead. And as we come down, taking that big push out to the side. It's not really a kick. It's not really a step, but you're trying to get your leg out to a tap as wide as you can. Whoops, I should have brought both hands down. Sorry about that. If you're following along exactly, sometimes I mess up. You know, and maybe you did too, because sometimes we all mess up. It never ruins your workout. It never ruins the exercise. It's just a learning moment. When it beeps again, here we are right back at marching. And yes, I have lots of learning moments in all of my workouts, my friends. Here comes our very last exercise in our last circuit. It's Curtsy Reaches. We're taking that big step back and out to the side while reaching our arms forward and back. It's a big twist in the middle where we can really feel the work in honestly every plane of motion. Every muscle in your body, your abs are working, your inner and outer thighs are working, your glutes are working, heart and lungs are working. When it beeps again, we are going to come back to marching. Doggies, to moderate that heart rate. But we are done, my friends. But we're not quite finished. I have one final thing for us. When it beeps again, with this high heart rate, yes, we're going to challenge your balance. I'm going to stand on my left leg first. We're doing what I call around the world taps. So we're standing as still as we can. We're tapping forward, out to the side. So forward, out to the side, and back. Standing on that one foot, really feeling the balance work, coming all the way up your leg, pulling in your core. When it beeps, we'll do the other side. And yes, we're going to do both sides 2 times. This is our finisher. This is the hardest thing we're going to do. So on the other side, forward, side, and back. Oh my gosh, the sweat is just dripping off of me while I'm trying to hang on to balance. If you happen to have excellent balance, please feel free to not even tap your toe down. You're welcome to do around the world kicks. if you would prefer, when it beeps again, going back to that first leg, for the second and final time. So forward, side, and back tap. Forward, side, and back. Core is pulled in tight. Standing leg is soft but strong. Sweat is dripping into your eyes, but that's okay because we're really almost to the very, very end of this. Well, I tell you what. The next time it beeps. Last time it's going to beep in this workout, but I do have a little bit of cool down stretching for us. Oh my gosh, where we can congratulate ourselves on a workout. Very, very well done, my friends. And that was it. We are better than done. We are finished. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of side tapping here while we do some big arm circles. Really feeling that stretch in your shoulders, keeping your head up and your chest out. It's why I like to do these arm circles first as a cool down, as a warm up, as well as a cool down, because we can really take in some nice deep breaths when we do so. One of the things that is truly magic about a cardio workout is that it actually exercises your lungs. Isn't that weird? We don't think of our lungs as like needing exercise. But when you ask them to work as hard as we have just asked them, they get better at it. The more you do work like this, the more work you can do. Starting with an cardio endurance workout like this one, such a great place to start. When you go right into exercise as a brand new beginner and you go straight for something super hard, running or cardio hit or something crazy that really spikes your heart rate and makes you breathe super, super hard, super, super quick. Honestly, your lungs just aren't really ready for that kind of work right away. When we teach them over time, let's go ahead and do some tappers. With those arm crossers as well. When we teach them over time how to take in more air, how to handle work, gentle work, but over a long period of time, they get better and better and better and better, and then they can handle that power work, like working at full speed ahead in a HIIT type workout. My friend, there is a place in the world for every type of workout you ever want to do, but it's important when you first start off to make sure that you know where you are and do the things that are going to get you to all those other workouts. Let's go ahead and have our feet nice and wide. I'm going to turn to the side a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. We're putting our hands just on our thighs while our butt pushes out to the back. You can feel that stretch down in your backs of your legs. And we're just going to bring our hips one way and then push our hips the other way. Feel that stretch. Not only in the backs of your legs, but also on your inner thighs. Love to stretch out the inner thighs after we have just worked them like we did in every plane of motion today, my friends. We got it all done. Making sure that your head is still above your heart, that when you're straightening your leg, you're not locking your knee. Just nice and gentle here. The same way we started is the same way we're going to finish. Just gentle. Not trying to yank ourselves into a stretching position, but just gently moving our body through its range of motion. So proud of you, my friend. Here on screen, I will have a more extended cool down. I got pretty sweaty today. We could do more cooling down if you have the time for it. I like to make sure that these workouts are fast and efficient for you, but also thorough enough. But if you'd like a little bit more stretching, I have more for you here on screen. Thank you so much for working out with me today. Make sure you click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.